So here's a little lesson on topic 12.3, and this is about box plots, or you might hear them referred to as box and whisker plots. So a box plot shows a distribution of data values on a number line. The median divides the data in half. Quartiles divide the data into 4 equal parts. So think of quartiles, quarters, 4 quarters, and a dollar. There's 4 equal parts for the quartiles. So to create a box plot, you need the 5 values, and it's the minimum, the maximum, the median, the first quartile, and the third quartile. So down here, I am labeling them as key points, or that's how you probably will hear me refer to them as. And so I have them in a specific order just because this is the order that you would be graphing them. So notice that the minimum right here comes first, then the first quartile, which we also can call it the lower quartile, So we can call it either one, first quartile or lower quartile. You're going to hear different books use different things, and you're going to hear me say different things too. So then we also have our median, which is the middle, and then the third quartile, which again is the upper quartile. You can say either one. And then the last one is the maximum. So if you have these 5 points down here, you're going to be set up to use your box plot. So here's an example of how to create a box plot. First of all, you're going to get data provided to you. For this first question, it says the data set below represents the heights in inches of 11 professional basketball players. So you can see the data here. And then it says fill in the blanks to order the data values from least to greatest. Then circle the minimum and the maximum heights and label the median and the quartiles. So they already kind of have us set up here. I'm just going to fill in the rest of the blanks. So here's my data in order from least to greatest, just filled in the blanks. And you can see that they have certain arrows pointing. So if we were to do our little cross-off method, like left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, we would notice that that 80 right there, that is our median. That's our middle value. So then, thinking about that, let's look at the lower half, and we want to find our lower quartile or our first quartile, and that's going to end up being the 74 because we would cross off and find out which one's the middle of that. So this would be our LQ, or we can label it as our first quartile. And then same thing on the other side. Let's look at this half of the data, and we would cross off to find out that 83 is our upper quartile or our third quartile. So on my paper, I would write min, and then I'd write lower quartile, median, upper quartile, max, and then fill out the values. So my minimum is 71, my max is 84, my median is 80, my lower quartile is 74, and my upper quartile is 83. And then I would use those to make my box plot below here. So number 2 says make a box plot. I'm looking right here. Step 1, label the number line with an appropriate scale for the data set. So I need to start at least at 71 and go up to 84. So let's just start with, well, I got to see how many dots are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I have plenty. So I could start off at 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. I'm kind of squishing it in here. I'm sorry, guys. 76, 77, 78, whoops, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. So then I can start putting my numbers, my important numbers. So I'm going to put a dot above the 71 for my min and a dot above my 84 for my max. And then I'm going to have vertical lines for my lower quartile, median, and upper quartile. So my lower quartile was 74, so I'm going to draw a vertical line here, a vertical line at 80, and a vertical line at 83. And then what I want to do is create that box, and then don't forget to draw out these horizontal line segments right here. So there's my box plot. It's much easier if you have the lined paper. So this is a little bit more difficult to do on here, but you get the idea of where these points. So you would have a dot at the minimum and the maximum, and then you'd have those vertical lines for the lower quartile, median, and the upper quartile. And then that's your box plot. So here's another example. We have the data set below represents the weight in pounds of several pumpkins in a contest. Make a box plot for the data. So we got to first put these numbers in order from least to greatest. So here are my numbers in order from least to greatest. I just crossed off as I wrote them down to make sure I used all my numbers. And so remember, I need my 5 key points. I need my min, I need my lower quartile or my first quartile, I need my median, I need my upper quartile, and then my max. So easy numbers to get are my min and my max, super quick. Min and max are 13 and 41. That's my minimum number and then my maximum number. So the next thing we probably want to do is find our median. So let's go ahead and just cross off to find where my middle number is. So left, right, left, right. Uh-oh, I have 2 numbers in the middle. So what we do, remember, is we want to average these together. So I'm just going to go off the side and say 22 plus 27, and that's going to give me 49. And then I got to find the average or the mean of that. So I'm going to do 49 divided by 2. Oops, I hit the eraser. There we go. So I'm going to figure this out. Oh, what am I doing, guys? There we go. So it goes in 2 times at 4, and then we have 9 left over, and 2 goes into 9 4 times. And then from here, remember we can add a decimal and a 0. Hopefully you remember those procedures. So then 2 goes into 10 5 times. So sometimes we will get decimals as our median. So our median is going to actually end up being 24 and 5/10, or 24 and a half. Okay, now we have to find our lower quartile and our upper quartile. So when we have an even number of data like we do now, we're going to cut the data directly in half, and let's look at our lower half and find the middle of the lower half. That's my lower quartile. So we're going to say left, right, left, right. Oh, this was easy. 16 is my lower quartile. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right-hand side. Left, right, left, right. Beautiful. 33 is my upper quartile. So the only thing that didn't work out so nicely was that median. It had a decimal in it. It doesn't happen all the time, but it will. So just be careful. So now I'm going to draw a number line. So I drew my number line using increments of 5 because that's a big range to be from 13 to 41. I would have a lot of little dashes, and there's no need to have all that. So when you put the numbers on the number line, you're just going to kind of estimate where it's going to be in between what 2 numbers. So let's go ahead and put our min and our max on here. So 13 and 41. 13 somewhere between 10 and 15. And then our max 41 is between 40 and 45. So there's my min and my max. And then I'm going to have vertical lines on my lower quartile, which will be 16. My median, which is 24 and a half, which is right close to 25. And then our upper quartile, which is 33. So right in between here. So I make my box. And then I extend my horizontal lines out. And there's my box plot. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the box plot isn't always going to look the same every time. Sometimes the outer horizontal lines are different lengths. Sometimes they're the same length. Sometimes they're shorter or longer. So we'll be talking about that in later lessons.